Hello, folks. Welcome to Nateland. I'm Nate Bargatze, sitting here with Aaron Weber, Brian Bates, as usual. Welcome back. Glad to have you. I'm wearing a sweater. I get asked sometimes about this, but this is a buddy of mine, Adam Agee, a guy I golf with. He gave me a sweater. He's in a band and he sings.
Yeah.
So
there you go. That's their
He's
logo.
Good. Yeah, because it's Adam Agee, AA.
Oh.
So I don't just he didn't ask for this. I said I'd wear it on the podcast, and he's a good golfer, really good golfer. Yeah.
Better than you?
Yeah, probably right now.
Yeah.
We're close. We would play. We match up very well together. He hits it very far, a long hitter, much longer than me. But I almost called him last week. I let him know. I was like, I'm getting close. How you feel about that? Just chirp out there a little bit about golf. I like people that don't like golf stuff. It's out in the open now.
I went to the driving range this week.
Yeah.
And
how'd it go, man?
Well,
it sounds like not a good time.
I went to, I go down to the end away from everybody else just to kind of be left alone.
Yeah.
And most people just will leave you alone. They don't pay attention.
Do you go to the side where your back's to everybody? Or you just go to an end? Because you're left-handed.
Oh.
Would you rather have your back to everybody? Or would you rather,
Yes, my back to everybody so they can't see me and I can't see them.
Wow.
And then if his front, that's all open you're able to be hit.
That's true too.
Yeah. You got sideways to here a ball can shoot off.
Now, I didn't go to the very end, but I was the farthest down at the time.
Yeah.
This 80-year-old lady comes down there,
Yeah.
props down beside me, like the one right, and I know what she's doing. Her husband is still back there getting the balls.
Yeah.
So she's just waiting. So she's just staring straight the direction toward me. And I'm trying to ignore her and just kind of do my own thing. And I hit one like a duff at like 12 feet.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking watching and then I just hear a voice say, I know that feeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then her husband comes down and he's like 100.
Yeah.
And they're hitting and they're not good. My wife said, well, that should make you feel better at least she was terrible. I was like, no, it makes me feel worse because she thinks we're the same.
Yeah.
She was saying that to make me feel good. Like, hey, man, we've all been there.
We've all been there.
And we have.
Yeah. That's the tough part about being left-handed is you have to face the right-handed hitter next to you.
Yeah.
If you don't get the right direction.
I'd never thought about that.
And so you're just looking because when if everybody's right-handed, you can see just the person next to you, but your back. No, that guy's probably looking at you, but you don't see him looking at you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you're left-handed. Like when a left-handed golfer goes to range, like at our course, our ball, all the golf balls are just already laid out there, and they're in like a basket.
Yeah. And
so, but they always have to move the basket over to the other side, and it's always a nightmare when you got to go there and you're like, why are these dumb balls on the wrong side? These left-handed people coming in and ruin it. But you have to face each other.
Yeah.
And as long as you didn't get one sideways, that's the.
Oh, I've hit one through my legs before.
Yeah.
Like somehow went straight through my legs.
Yeah.
And then.
There's a great video. I just sent it to my brother, but a guy hits and he misses. It's teed up and it goes right under. And then he's looking down at the ball, keeping his eye on the ball, and the ball just comes straight up and hits him in the eye. I mean, unreal. That's why golf is so. I love it so much, and what makes it so funny is stuff that seems impossible happens, and it happens to the worst golf.
Yeah.
I mean, for you to be able to swing a full swing with a driver, teed up, and make the ball hit you in the eye, I mean, you just can't.
Right.
No one can do that.
You couldn't replicate it if you tried.
You just can't.
Yeah.
And for that to happen, that's the beauty of golf is just your club. You hold it wrong, you take a bad swing. Duffing it is, you're at least like, all right, it went forward.
Right.
But I mean, it can go sideways.
I mean, as you know, I've had to yell 4 on a driving range before.
Yeah. He was hitting in the net, just a quick tell of the story, and he just would have sliced it, I guess, to his. He sliced it, and so like he's kind of hitting farther back because he just took lessons. And so he's hitting farther back, and the range is up. And so, but up to the right. And so he slices it, and it just comes flying down the line of people. And he has to yell, 4! But no one knows when someone yells 4 at a range.
Yeah.
Like, the people don't know where it's coming from. Like, they don't understand what's happening. As far as they know, everybody's hitting in line with them.
Yeah.
Where could this ball be coming from? And it just comes, and there's a net there to try to stop it. But his slice was so good that the ball, which is crazy to think that you can hit a ball that goes straight and takes a hard right and then almost gains speed at that turn.
Yeah.
And all these people had to drop to the ground at the range. They don't, they don't know where it comes from. I mean, man,
Wow.
when somebody yells 4 at you on a golf course, Ryan Malone, he's like 4. He's a very deep 4. We all love his 4 because it's very just like 4.
Yeah.
I had a guy one day behind us playing, and I mean, he was yelling 4. I mean, it was every hole.
Yeah.
And you're like, what's happening back there? Like, I mean, I've had fights. That's where fights happen. People hit into people. And I've had it where someone got into it with us. Our neighbor hit. One guy hits, ball goes on this tee box. My neighbor Dwayne, and he goes on this tee box. These people are teeing off, so they look at us and throw their hands up, like, "What are you doing?" And it's sitting there. You're like, I always think when someone hits into you, you always should go, "Don't get mad." What do you think they want to hit into you?
Yeah.
Do you think that they're going, "I hope I get into a argument with this stranger"? No, nobody wants to hit into you. So we have to go over there and we're like, dude, and I tell him that I'm like, no, we're not trying to. He yelled 4. You didn't hear it. We're sorry. But obviously, why we're not trying to hit into you.
Mm-hmm.
And then as we do that, my other neighbor, Felix, that's with us, he's kind of near us off to the side a little bit. And he's hitting in an opposite direction. And I get everybody kind of calm down. And then Felix hits it to the right and hits the cart with the guy's wife in it. And she just goes, "Oh, come on, guys." And I mean, at that point, I'll go, and I just was like, look, he might have been trying to do that. I can't apologize for that one because I don't know what his plan was with that. But I mean, just to get the emotions calmed down. That's what yeah. Golf is it's beautiful. Basketballs don't shoot off in weird directions.
No.
Like, I just love the idea of, like, it's just, you see stuff. The worst golf in the world could hit a shot that a trick shot artist couldn't do.
Yeah.
Because they're just so...
The laws of physics don't apply.
They don't.
Yeah.
John Augustine, who just played at the AMX tournament, he can top one on purpose. And so he'll do that when people come and they'll be like, "Hey, this guy's playing in the Masters." And they're like, "Whoa." And then they all watch him at the driving range and he'll just top it and it goes just nowhere. And they're like, "Oh, that guy's playing the Masters." All right. So we talked about golf. I can't help it. I'll have to start my own golf podcast and just... as always, we're going to start off with comments from YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Apple Podcast reviews, or you can email us at nateland@natebargatze.com. Max Parsons. Most people say those were simpler times when referring to pre-internet, cell phone, social media, etc., but not Nate. Nate sees the simpler times as being when Neanderthals, is that how you say it? Neanderthals. Yeah. When Neanderthals, there's no way they use that word to describe themselves. That's too big of a word. They didn't, that's what we call them, a gigantic word. I'm trying to do a new joke about big words. Big words are just to make people feel stupid.
Yeah.
And that would be that. And I might actually use that in the bit, is because Neanderthals would be like, "Well, you're a Neanderthal." And you're like, "Well, I don't even know what that is." And they're like, "Exactly." And you're like, "Well, you're only using that word to make me feel dumb."
Uh-huh.
And then you use what is a Neanderthal? It's like a caveman, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you always go, "Well, why don't we just say caveman? Why do you got to fancy the word up a little bit?" And it's so y'all can so y'all can say your education means something, so y'all talk different. All right. Nate sees the simpler times as being when Neanderthals, that's like Bartholomew. Like, I have a real hard time with that one. Nate sees the simpler times as being when Neanderthals had to eat 10 hours a day to stay alive and gave almost a sigh of disappointment that things aren't that way anymore. This is the Seinfeld of podcasts, a show about nothing, but somehow it's funny, and I keep coming back for more. P.S. Please do more states. We are going to do more states. Thank you very much. Yeah. So, yeah, because I said it was when they ate 10 hours a day to stay alive.
You said something like, but they didn't have anything else to do back then. It was
Yeah.
a simpler time.
It was a simpler time. Is that not a simpler time?
For sure.
That is the simplest time. You just got to eat.
That
You're just
sounds
trying
like
to
a
get
lot
some food.
because you gotta. It's not like you can just go to a grocery store. You know, you gotta find that.
Yeah, but they
food.
don't know that. You know, it's not like they are living behind a Publix going, "What's in there?" And they don't know that they can get. You know, well, you can just buy fish in there.
They don't even know how hard they had it.
No,
Right?
they had no idea.
Yeah.
People don't. You don't know until you know later.
That's right. You don't know what you don't know.
Simpler times.
Yeah.
Caitlin McKinsky could be right. Machinsky or McKinsky. Caitlin, I work at a university. My plan is to become a professor, so I feel like I can help clear up the confusion. All professors teach courses. An adjunct is hired semester to semester and paid per course rather than salaried. An adjunct. Still not, is that better? You're hired semester
It's
to
different.
semester and paid per course. You get cash after you get done teaching your class. They just walk up and give you a
Envelope full of
hondo.
cash.
They give you, here you go, a couple hundred, a little extra for Christmas. And you're like, I appreciate it. This history been pretty fun to me, actually. I mean, you're just piece by piece. She wants to be a real professor.
Yeah, she went on. I left that part out because it would have really confused you. But she explained every professor and what the different levels.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So that's the general idea.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
adjunct professor is someone that's not salaried by the university. They're paid per class.
Yeah. They just like to bounce around. It'd be someone. Do they want to be a professor though?
I have a friend who's adjunct professor at Vanderbilt. He teaches a business class.
Yeah.
And he's
Happy with what he's doing.
yeah.
He's not trying to be something. He doesn't. He's like, no, I like this. I get to do my own thing, mix it up.
Yeah.
Okay. I wonder if they make as much though as a professor.
For that one class?
Yeah, I mean, you get paid class by class if you really
But
break
if they're
it
like a
down.
celebrity, they might get paid more, right?
Yeah. Who are you
You know?
talking to?
No, he was nodding
Oh.
no, answering our questions.
I mean, Aaron started
I'm
his
just
own podcast within the podcast. He's over here. What is going on?
Looking 3 feet
He's
to the
just,
left.
my goodness. Everybody, please welcome to listen to Aaron Land. When does it air? Airs during Nateland. Sorry. I didn't know you guys were going to do something together. You just give me
He
a
was
heads
answering-
up.
He was answering the question. I'm sorry about that, man.
What was the answer?
You said no, they don't get paid as much.
They don't get paid as
But
much.
like Pete Buttigieg, when
But
he
they
was-
might like
when-
the freedom.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
my wife is an adjunct professor at NTSU, but her day job is an accounting manager somewhere else.
Oh, so it's like a
Ah.
side thing. Like she likes teaching.
Yes.
Yes.
okay.
So what I'm saying though, it's not a full on. But if she doesn't want to be a full professor,
No.
she has no desire. But
Yeah.
she's like, I still like to teach,
Yeah.
and it's okay. I mean, I didn't know we had an adjunct professor in this. Where we at? We had a whole. You go. I do it every day. Yeah, what?
I'm glad you talked to him, Aaron.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good job,
man.
Aaron.
Pete Buttigieg was an adjunct professor at Notre Dame when he was
Yeah.
mayor of South Bend.
Yeah.
He taught like an urban development class or something.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like you're doing it, and it's a good thing for your resume.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
just say
I
I'm an
think so.
adjunct professor.
Yeah.
They should come up with a better name. Adjunct doesn't sound, I would almost, if I'm interviewing you, you go, I'm an adjunct professor, I'd be like, thank you, but no. We don't do that stuff it just sounds bad. I don't know. When then someone walks out, they go, what was she? I think she said she's a junkie. She's a junkie. She said, I'm a junkie. That's how I would hear it and go, well, that's crazy. You just say that out loud. Lauren Alyssa, I'm from Las Vegas, and I just want to let Aaron know that the casinos each have a signature fragrance that is pumped into the air vents, so it creates a certain smell in the hotels. I'm assuming other places probably have this too.
Okay.
That's like Starbucks.
His
That's a-
inventions.
Oh, that
That was
yeah.
one of his inventions.
You're making dangerous assumptions there, Lauren.
Oh,
Right, she's just assuming other places have it too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's for commercial use, but
That's a very way to say it where you're just annoyed with the person talking. Casinos do it. I'm assuming other places too.
Yeah.
And then you go, well, I said other places probably do it too.
Right. I want a residential units. You know?
Yeah. You're inventing just like something that's also already invented. But you're just like, what if we did it in tree houses? And you're like, oh, I guess that's never been done. And you go, yeah.
Look, I've lost confidence in the invention idea since I said it. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I've lost confidence in it for sure. But
yeah. We'll see what happens. Pastor Will Rose. The story of the fast food heist reminded me of a prank my friends and I did in high school. One evening, we taped a sign on the drive-through menu and speaker that said, "Speak really, really loud. Microphone is broken." And then we went into the restaurant to listen to people scream their orders so that everyone in the restaurant could hear them. It was pretty dang entertaining. Every time I go through a drive-through, I laugh thinking about it. You know, give yourself a memory every time you go to the drive-through, which is pretty good memory. That's very funny to hear them like, number one, just people. And then the inside just going, what is going on with everybody today? This town has gone crazy. Wally Gustafsson. This guy it's like Beauty and the Beast. Isn't he Gustav? Isn't it Goose something?
yeah.
This is some old money right here. Love the podcast and was laughing so hard at the baby cage discussion. In 1988, I visited Finland with my family, and we went to the grocery store. As we were walking in, I noticed roughly 12 baby strollers lined up neatly, all filled with live babies crying and doing whatever babies do when they think they might have been abandoned. I asked our host family why all the babies were sitting there alone, to which they responded, "Who wants to bring a crying baby into the store with them?" People literally left their babies outside unattended in 1988. Times have changed. Keep up the great work. I think I've seen this. I've read something about that.
Yeah.
It was almost like it was that safe of a place that you could leave your baby.
In Finland?
In Finland. I think, look, if you're brave enough, I think you could leave a baby at a Walmart, Nolensville Road. I don't just try to make up some.
Yeah.
I think you could leave it. I think someone that wants to steal a baby, you have to be, you might go, hey, we should steal that baby. And someone's like, what are you going to do with the baby? And you're right. And then they would move on. I think I mean, people are stealing babies, but you'd have to get someone that's prepared to steal a baby.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm definitely not going to, I was not saying we should leave babies. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't in this confidence.
There was just a case locally where someone got carjacked and the baby was in the back seat, and the car was found soon after abandoned. I mean, the baby was fine.
Yeah.
But I think to your point, when that happens, people don't want that baby.
It's not as easy to get the, I don't know. It's not as, you can't, you probably got to sell it to like someone that wants to adopt. That's just a lot. That's a little bit more, why'd you steal baby, dude? Just don't we do car radios. You think you're like, you don't have someone that can do a baby? You're like, I mean, it's a whole nother world, dude. That's like the big leagues right there. That's
yeah.
We just steal stuff out of trucks. Paul M.E. Mueller. Hearing Nate give advice about healthy eating because he feels better after his week of homemade steak and burritos is like listening to a newlywed couple give relationship advice. Paul, let me tell you something. We have gone off the rails. So, people don't understand. Me eating just homemade steak and burritos is a gigantic step.
Yeah.
If you're eating processed food all the time, trust me, it is huge. And I'm just trying to give, because my problem with healthy, when people talk about eating healthy, people always say I might have talked about it, but eating fruit, someone would be like, oh, you don't eat too much fruit. No one's getting fat because they're eating too much fruit. No one is, just a big guy and like, what do you do? Like, I just have an orange problem. That's not happening.
Yeah.
But like real healthy people, I do get the idea you shouldn't eat that much fruit because there's sugar in the fruit.
Yeah.
But for me, like eat all the fruit you want.
Yeah.
Right.
Do whatever you want. The guy that's going to help me eat better, which is Klug, Matt McQuiston, is a strong man. But he's really just like, I'm just trying to get you to eat at home.
Yeah.
He's like, let's just eat at home, and then we will make adjustments from there. And that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of people that I don't understand healthy stuff.
Yeah.
I don't.
But you've gone off the rails since then? You've been eating outside?
It's just people are in town. You got to go eat with someone, and like you got like you don't realize how much you're like. We have a buddy coming in this week. I had Justin Smith stop by. He was doing a road gig. I'm starting to I'll become the house. If a comic has a long road gig, I let him stay here. Which we're good friends with Justin, and so Justin was driving to Elon University. It's like a 17-hour drive from Oklahoma. So he came here and stayed, went and did the show, came back and stayed, and then drove back home. But like Justin was here, so then we go eat, and then you have the fight. You just like have like stuff. It's like very hard for someone like me to not go. We should just go.
Right.
Let's just get a burger somewhere. Like So that's where I'm going. But I do. Yeah, I get it. I'm definitely not healthy.
When you say the fight, you're talking about UFC.
The UFC fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, McGregor.
Great fight, by the way.
Poirier. Great fight.
Wow.
The other kid, the one before him, Chandler.
Yeah.
He's local.
Nashville guy.
Guy. Trains here. So yeah, I love UFC. UFC, you may tell you what UFC does good. What they do so good is their post conference is wonderful. The UFC is becoming one of my favorite leagues. How open and like they just talk about stuff.
Yeah.
Is no league does it. I'm so tired of NFL interviews and NBA. It's like, how was it? Like, well, the game was like whatever. Blah. They say the same stuff. What are you going to do next year? They're like, I don't know what I'm going to do next year. And I get that some might not know, but it's like there's no answers. No one gets any answers out of these. They ask them the same dumb questions. They answer the same ways. You interview Nick Saban after every what's he gonna say? Well, they played hard. We didn't play hard. You're like, no one cares, dude. Like, give us something, or don't do the interview.
Yeah, all those interview moments that have gone viral and are famous among sports fans, like the playoffs, and they are who we thought they were. There's like one of those every week in the UFC. I feel like all the time. There's something entertaining and hilarious.
So they do it. I watched a post. So Dana White goes, and so the big question with UFC is Khabib, because Khabib retired, and so is he going to come back? And he hints that he would maybe come back, and he wanted to watch these fights, and he was like, "Let me see if anybody shows like they're great, and I want to fight them, then I'll come back." And so he was not. So Dana White goes to the post conference, and they said, "Have you the only question people want to know is, did Khabib think he'd want to fight one of these guys?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "Yeah, I talked to Khabib, and Khabib just said, Dana, be honest with yourself. I'm better than all these guys. It's a waste of my time to fight them." But Dana said that to us. Dana went from talking to Khabib and then told us. No league does that. If you're asking Tom Brady if he's going to come back every week, there's not an answer. I don't know. He's not going to go. There's no answer. Maybe, it's all this cat and mouse kind of game. And with Dana, it's like, no, I talked to Khabib, man. He wasn't impressed with anybody. And they just openly just say everything. And it is a breath of fresh air as far as watching. I watched the entire post conference.
Yeah.
It's an hour and a half. I just watch everybody come out. They call each other out. They say what they want to go do. Dana says like he doesn't always like say what kind of fights he's playing in, but he kind of goes, "Yeah, I talked to him. I'm trying to plan it. Let's see what happens." See, being transparent, right? That's man, it feels great, and the UFC does a really good job at that, and they do a really good job of having big fights.
Yeah,
because I'm a big fan of UFC, but I only know so many guys. I'm not into mixed martial arts where I know all everybody. I didn't really know who that Chandler guy was.
Yeah,
but he had a good story and he was fun. And all right, Matthew Gerber from the Gerber,
the Gerber baby.
What if that's? He could be loaded. Mr. 36 Donuts is making wheels. No problem. Love it. Is there? Oh, that was it?
No, that's just part of a larger issue, which is that I have no credibility anymore on this podcast. Any prediction I make, any statement is just...
Oh, you're making wheels.
I'm the guy who said he could eat 36 donuts and I ate 13.
Yeah, and you said you can make wheels. Is that what he's saying?
I said I
Yes.
could easily
Yeah.
make a wheel, and Brian
Yeah.
didn't think I could.
Yeah.
And none of our viewers or listeners did either.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
that's.
Nobody did.
I didn't say it would be easy, man. I
Yeah.
said I'd figure it out.
As you go speak to the town and go, I think I want to try to make a wheel. And they go, oh, yeah. Are you going to, like, you ate 25 pineapples last week? And he goes, did he? You're like, no, not even close. All right. And then people just walk off. I think you would be like the town crier.
Uh-huh.
Is that what it?
Yeah.
Like
The town crier, yeah.
You're just always yelling that
Hear
you're going to do
ye,
stuff.
hear ye.
I'm going to make a will. And then you're like, well, we'll make it. You're like, well, I just wanted y'all to know that I'm thinking about it.
You know what my strategy is, though? This is my strategy in life. I had a friend in college who he'd play beer pong a lot, and he would always he'd call every shot, you know?
Yeah.
And he'd miss most of them, but you remember the ones that you make.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, that guy called it, you know? That's my strategy.
That
Long
is-
term.
That is, yeah.
Long term.
That is true. You do it. You got to be around enough different people
Mm-hmm.
to do that. So your network of people you're saying that to can't be the same people,
Right?
Because they're going to see through it.
That's true. So I'm done on this podcast. I can't.
You
do
can't
it
do it
again.
anymore.
But elsewhere in life,
Hey, your other podcast that y'all started during this one, maybe y'all could do it.
Aaron Land.
Aaron Land. When does it air? Right in the middle of Nateland. Crangus McBasketball. Crangus McBasketball. It's crazy. That guy's real name. Penguin is one thing, but how about how Brianna pronounces wheel? Wheel? How do you say it? Probably like me.
you both say it the same way.
A few
Yeah.
people pointed out I say will.
I say wheel.
And how are you supposed to say it?
Wheel.
Wheel.
Yeah.
Wheel.
Yeah, we don't do enough wheel. Oil. That's how you're supposed to. We say oil.
Yeah.
I gotta get my oil changed. I say that a lot. If someone's outside of talks like me, they're like, "What?" And then it's like,
Say tinfoil.
I don't even say it.
Tinfoil.
I say motor oil because I know that you're at least put that together.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we say tinfoil. Yeah, we just do. That's how it is. Wheel. I talked about it when they had to change all the words for me on wheel. David Robertson. For your information, wiki is a Hawaiian term that means quick. I only know this because I visited my brother on a naval basis in Hawaii, and we had to take the wiki bus from Honolulu Airport. It means quick. It is now germane to looking things up quickly online. Wiki bus. That's a very funny bus to take. You're not on that long, but it's fun to. By the time you stop laughing, you're off. Joseph Wolniski. Nate, a gasp is a breath in, not a breath out. You kept excelling when reacting Aaron's gasp about the iPhone. It sounded like you were exasperated, not amazed.
Reenacting.
I was a lot of things during that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw some people commented on All Things Comedy posted that clip.
Mm-hmm.
And then people were commenting. I saw those. Like, they're like, yeah, dude, were you not impressed with the iPhone? Like, the idea of people understand anything about comedy to go, yeah, dude, what do you think? I'm just like, no, I'm not, bro. I'm not impressed by the iPhone. I mean, my God. The podcast should just be like, wow, I gasped. Yeah, you should have. It was a new iPhone. Next thing. Let's move on to the next thing. I mean, people just they suck the fun out of life, dude. Like, everything's so serious.
Yeah.
Bradley Geck. I would love to see Aaron call and try to cancel his gym membership live on the podcast. Keep up the good work, folks. We should do it. We should film. We should. Have you canceled it?
No.
And then, yeah. I mean, there's no way you know.
More than one person suggested this. I
Yeah.
think it's a good idea.
I think it's a good idea. I think we do it. We're posted on. Yeah, maybe we should do it.
Okay. I'll do it whenever, man.
Yeah.
I'm not. I literally just keep forgetting until we talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I dread phone calls.
Yeah.
You know, I just dread them. But
yeah, because we can hook up like the phone call and stuff and all that. Yeah. We're all right. We'll do it. Try to do it next week.
All right.
He's already canceled on his podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
He'll reenact it for us.
Yeah. No, I'll do it. Yeah.
So all right. Sorry. Magic Spoon. This episode is brought to you by Magic Spoon. I've been eating Magic Spoon. It's like cereal. Like we've always said, cereal I ate as a kid.
Mhm.
Talking about eating healthy. This is a way to do it. This is like a trick that you feel like you're eating kid cereal, the best cereal, the fruity, the cocoa, and it's easy. It tastes great. You guys have been eating it. You guys are liking it. I love it. It's again, eating at home, which is my main focus. And Magic Spoon is just you can't really be lazier than cereal. Cereal's the easiest, healthiest,
the easiest meal to put together.
Yes,
for sure.
Just that, milk, do whatever you want. Water, if you're being a weirdo. 0 sugar, 11 grams of protein, and only 3 net grams of carbs in each serving. 4 flavors: cocoa, fruity, frosted, and blueberry. It tastes amazing. I mean, I love it. It's keto friendly, gluten free, grain free, soy free, low carb, and GMO free. It's all of the free stuff you want. I love cocoa. Cocoa's my favorite. Go to magicspoon.com/Nate to grab a variety pack and try it today. And be sure to use our promo code Nate at checkout to save $5 off your order. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with 100% happiness guaranteed. So if you don't like it for any reason, they will refund your money, no questions asked. So make sure you go do Magic Spoon. Look, start your day off. If you're going to do one meal, make it nice and easy. No one's around. You don't have to, lunch is always with someone. Dinner, you're always eating out. Just do a nice and easy, quick Magic Spoon. That's magicspoon.com/Nate and use the code Nate to save $5 off. We thank Magic Spoon for sponsoring the podcast. A couple things that we've had happen recently is we've noticed, speaking of Wiki, our Wikipedia pages has been updated.
Yeah, dude, it's so great.
Yeah, or mine.
Yeah, yours.
On July 8th, 2020, Bargatze started a podcast titled The Nateland Podcast, which is available on YouTube and Spotify. Bargatze co-hosts a lighthearted podcast with fellow comedians Brian Boo Boo Bear Bates and Aaron Like the Grill Weber. The podcast revolves around the 3 hosts picking a seemingly benign topic like calendars or weather, and then spiraling hilarious downhill to the point where Nate usually declares the topic the worst they've ever chosen, or declaring himself confused and incredulously asking his fellow co-hosts questions about everything, everyday things. The podcast has been touted as a show about nothing, and the hosts frequently make references, inside jokes out of the TV sitcom Seinfeld and The Office. A frequent tradition is for Nate to open the show with "Hello, folks," deemed the official name for Nateland podcast followers. The first 30 minutes is usually dedicated to comments from viewers, listeners about the previous show. Typical comments are usually raves about the previous topic, people adding facts or correcting the group, and most hilariously, expressing their disdain for Bargatze, Bates, or Weber, or the show as a whole. Bargatze famously stumbles through reading the comments, usually ending up with some rant or comic bit in the process. The show has received great critical acclaim, with reviews doubling it insightful and lighthearted, as well as ridiculously funny. Recently, Weber was fan-diagnosed with gout at the young age of 28, and his scary gout foot is now a running gag. And after having this name mistaken early in the series, Brian is now frequently referred to by the wrong name, first name, often started with the letter B. He has affectionately been referred to as Brisket, Barnacle, Butterball, and even just Worried Bates. The latter referring to Bates' generally worried-looking resting face. My personal life, Bargatze currently resides in Mount Juliet, Tennessee, at a home with no front door. He lives with his wife, Lorraine Baines Bargatze, daughter Tallulah, brother Wolf, and dog Macaroni Bargatze. Worf.
Yeah.
Man, that's a
lot.
That is great.
That's funny.
That's a very
whoever did that, man. It's really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna send the people your way. Just go. You know, when they want to know, just go. Yeah, just go read my Wikipedia. That describes it. I'm pretty on board with all of that.
Yeah,
it kind of says it great.
Worf is a callback to the very first episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lorraine Baines Bargatze.
Lorraine Baines Bargatze.
I love it. It says every episode spirals downhill to the point where Nate declares the topic the worst they've ever chosen. That's happened
right on.
quite a bit.
It
happened today, probably.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I did want to. We talk about eating out like I ate out the other day. This has nothing to do with anything except chives. These places gotta chill out on these chives, man. They're throwing it on everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
What happened?
I had it on eggs. It's loaded with chives.
Uh-huh.
It's like I said, eggs and extra chives.
Mm-hmm.
And I ordered it thinking no chives.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like I asked for extra. I don't my no tomatoes, no onions restaurant that I want to open, but the people throw chives around like it's
You're gonna make it no chives too, this restaurant?
well, that's an onion.
Is it?
Yeah. Isn't chives an onion?
I didn't know it was.
Yeah, it's an onion.
When I worked at the country club, I throw chives on everything. That was part of my job as the expo guy.
Yeah.
They'd give me the plate and like just add chives. You just sprinkle some in.
Yeah.
It's a low impact and it makes it look better, dude. So you just kind of add.
It doesn't make it look. It
makes it look great.
Where I'm going, there's not a design in the chives. It is just plumped on there. If there's a heart around my eggs and chives, then we can talk.
Yeah.
But they're just thrown on there.
Making a heart. But just adding some green to the plate does wonders. For plate presentation.
Look, come on, dude. What are we at the nicest restaurant on earth? No. I'm talking about every day. You have to say no chives. I swear. I think I've had chives. I think someone's had chives on dessert before, on ice cream. I'm almost positive I did somewhere. That I could be making up completely. But in my head, it happened. Because they always give me, I don't think to ask. And now I've gotten better. I try to get better where I just go in and I always go, no chives.
Mm-hmm.
I know you, and because we just act like it. Dude, chives were banned from this country not too long ago. And one of the greatest times of my life. The most free.
Oh, because there was an outbreak of something?
Yeah. And so they had to just get rid of chives.
Like a cola or something?
And I mean, I ate out every day with just complete confidence. I mean, I felt like a normal person not having to say, no, I don't want any something. I was like, yeah, just bring it out. As long as no chives are being thrown around.
Yeah.
They throw chives and onion.
Yeah.
An onion's a tasty. It's not, what is it? Parsley. Parsley is like, that's what you put on. That's like a show. If you want to bring the plate out to be nice.
Where I worked, man, we did it with chives, dude, and that was like my main job was just to add chives to stuff. So that's hilarious.
I'm surprised you didn't know that it was an onion.
I don't know. It's just green. It's little circles that are green, right?
Yeah, but it's an onion.
I never thought about what it is.
I know.
They're just there in a little bowl, and I would just sprinkle them in.
I know. It's just insane to me that we're just throwing. Someone could order no onions and they still put chives on it.
Yeah.
And that's because it's like it's decoration. I don't need I'm ordering the food.
Yeah.
I'm ordering eggs. I would like to eat the eggs.
Yeah.
When you sit down, I don't think anybody's walked out of a restaurant because the plate it was like, ugh, this looks pretty rough. Put like lay a rose on the plate. I'd be fine with that. You want to do some plate presentation? Maybe don't do white plates. Do a different color plate. How about that?
But have you walked out of a restaurant because there were chives on your eggs?
I don't go back.
Oh, okay.
All right. Yeah. I know that look. No one cares about this chive problem.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, no one's. I just wanted to publicly get it out there. No one cares. Everybody's just because you assume you're supposed to just be fed chives is what you assume.
Mm-hmm.
You're just like, it is what it is. You get chives. They come with chives. But it's like they don't say it in the description. So I don't know to not ask for it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh yeah, we are just putting onions on everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a problem. It's a problem for me.
Yeah, I don't like chives either. They put on baked potato.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah. Baked potato, you at least know that's kind of goes with.
Yeah.
If you want
part of a loaded baked potato.
Yeah. So it's like but they throw it on stuff where you don't expect it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, what are these doing? Do they throw it on pasta? Like, and they're just sprinkling it, and it's just, you can't get that out. You can't get that out. I just try to pick it out. And it's just, it's like, it's like when Kramer's chewing gum in the dough that he made, where it just like it gets mixed in. You're like, you're not getting it out.
Yeah.
Eggs are tough to scrape it off too.
Yeah.
because then you know get them over medium. Little yolk, it's like surgery because you can't pop that yolk yet.
Mm-hmm.
So all right, this is nothing to do, but I wanted to make a point.
Well,
I'm hoping there's a change.
It's a good segue to our topic because this guy had a job, chive placer.
That's right, dude.
Yeah. Today we were going to talk about jobs, kind of odd jobs that we've had, and where'd you work at?
I worked at a country club in Hendersonville called Bluegrass Country Club.
Oh, I did.
You play golf there?
I did my mid-am. I tried out for a mid-am tournament.
Oh yeah,
at Bluegrass. I got a hat from them. I've wore it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll wear it again, but like I did my mid-am tournament. Didn't make it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do real tournaments. It was a very funny. We do this mid-am tournament. So if anybody doesn't know, and the other thing about golf, we talk about golf. Anybody, I could go try to make the U.S. Open. Like you can go qualify in all these small.
That's what open means, right?
That's what open means.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no, if you want to play in the NFL, you're not just like, hey, go try every year.
Uh-huh.
But so in the golf, they have like amateur tournaments, mid-amateur tournaments. And so mid-amateur is I'm about, that's where I'm at. And you try to make a cut and then you go play in like the state mid-am. You play like a full 4-round thing. So I played in it last year. I'm going to try to play in it every year. It was so much fun. It's real golf, real tournament. The rules are all birdied the first hole and then kind of crumbled after that. But one guy we played with, he shot so bad. And I think he's a good golfer. It just wasn't going for him. And, he was all over the place, dude. And the 10th, we get on number 10, which is kind of by that restaurant. And they got water on the par 3.
Uh-huh.
He hits it into the sand, goes in the water, and then has to go back to the sand to play. So anyway, then I think goes in the water. I mean, he gets to be in like an 8 or 9 on this par 3. And then he just comes over to us and takes his hat off. He goes, "All right, boys, I got a long drive ahead of me. I'm gonna get out of here." Which is the funniest way to put. Like he just quit. Like he's like, "This isn't happening." And just to go, I got a long drive ahead of me. Like it was like, yeah. And you're like, I'm gonna go. And he just left. And he just left after because it was like it was over.
Right.
But it was very fun to do. But yeah, that was at your Bluegrass show.
Well, they didn't let me anywhere near the golf course.
Yeah.
I worked in the kitchen, mostly as an expo food runner.
What does that mean?
So they get a ticket and they prepare the whole plate, and then it was my job to take the plates and put them on a big tray and then bring them out. So I just kept track of what was going where.
Yeah.
But the expo was also, you did a lot of little things like add chives to stuff or.
Yeah, I've done. You're standing in the cooks are putting the stuff up there.
I'm on the other side from the line cooks. Yeah.
I've done
just stacking everything.
That's kind of a fun job. You got to take it too, or would you give it to somebody
then
else?
I'd run it out to the
so you were
restaurant.
expo and runner.
Mm-hmm.
What does expo mean?
Expedite, like get everything ready to be taken out.
So the cooks are just putting the plate up there, and then you're going, and like I did it at Applebee's, and you just kind of look and you go, all right, this is ready. Table 35, chicken, whatever, broccoli, chicken Alfredo. Broccoli on the side. That's how I would do it. And I'm really just not eating it. I'm just ordering broccoli on the side just so my wife doesn't go, well, you should get it. Because I'd rather just leave it in the kitchen. But and then you put the receipt on the bowl and then so the person usually the server comes and gets it.
Yeah.
Or he's doing it all.
Right.
Which I imagine a country club is not as it's not like an Applebee's. It's not like a restaurant where it's as high volume.
No, not super high volume, but it's always funny. Well, I used to compare it to the great analogy I heard was like a geese swimming on a pond.
Yeah.
On the outside it looks very smooth, and then you go under the water and it's chaos. Just to walk from like the dining room of this country club back to the kitchen where it's just animals back there, just everybody yelling and cursing and everything else.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
they
got
do that
pretty
with
hectic,
that's
man.
a big saying where they do like a duck. It's
Yeah.
like don't show them all the hard work they're doing.
Right.
Usually they do it for like more things than just being expo at a restaurant. That analogy would be for a Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods. That's usually where someone says, it's like people hang that poster on the wall when they're trying to be a professional ballerina when they're 6 years old and their toes are bleeding and it's going, don't show them all your hard work. But I would imagine, also running food is along.
Well, I was the Michael Jordan of Expo.
You were.
I think
you were
so.
very good at it.
Yeah.
That's a big analogy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that, do you know that analogy is like you only know that analogy from them at that restaurant?
No.
Okay. I mean, I'm just wondering. You miss.
That's the only thing I've used it for.
You miss 100% of the shots that you take. Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott, Aaron Weber.
It's something we used to say at my country club, dude. We always said the grass is always greener on the other side.
Yeah. That would be very funny to only be.
You call it bluegrass?
Bluegrass, yeah.
The only all your references are just like all these things. You're like, where'd you hear that? You're like, this guy I used to work with. You're like, that's a big saying, man. Like, it's I did like that about waiting tables. I love the idea of waiting tables. It is the chaos of when you're like in the world. I used to when we wait tables, you know what everybody's eating that you're serving. You kind of know where they're at. You know that they probably need drinks now. They probably need this. And so it's like, what's going on in your head? You couldn't even describe it. It's your brain is just like going, and it is inside the kitchen is nuts.
Yeah,
screaming, yelling, all this stuff, and then you go outside. It's like, hello, like
exactly.
And you're presenting yourself.
Right. See, my favorite part of that job. I'm just remembering this. My favorite part of the job is the upper level of bluegrass. You're not allowed to wear shorts.
Yeah,
this is a country club, so we got to take turns kicking people out that were wearing shorts, and that was like the most fun you could. You
loved it.
It was the most. Yeah. It was the only moment where you had any power at that place.
Yeah.
You know, you're just an idiot with like a black tux on, standing there, and then some dude would have like flannel shorts on, and you have to walk up and tell him to leave. It was so great, dude. I remember this guy had green flannel. She had just got done playing golf, so he just came up to eat. And I had to walk up and go, excuse me, sir, only long pants are permitted up here. And he's like, these are $180 shorts.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, you can go down to our pro shop. You can get some long pants down there. It was like the one thing we had. So when you saw somebody with shorts, you're like, oh, it's going to be a good day.
Yeah.
You enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially because I was an expert. I wasn't getting tips from these people. If I were a server, I would have been more delicate about it. But like a 19-year-old kid with no money, you get to go tell these guys,
these rich guys,
exactly. You get to tell them they have to leave.
Yeah,
feels pretty good.
Yeah. Did they could go eat downstairs with shorts?
Yeah, they could go eat at the card room or whatever downstairs
on the parking lot. Yeah. Hey, buddy, you got to get out. There's a Captain D's open across the street. You go take your dumb legs over there, or you can go buy some pants. You're just ruthless with these guys. Hey, Mr. Johnson, there's an Arby's that's about to close if you want to take those hot legs over there. Otherwise, if you want any of what we're doing in here, let's class it up a little bit.
We need you and your white calves to get out of here right now. Yeah.
I need you and your black socks to beat it. You know what I mean? I worked at a golf course.
Yeah.
I worked at Hermitage Golf Course, one of my first jobs. Opryland Theme Park and Hermitage were my first two when you're young jobs. And we lived down the street from, Hermitage Golf Course. We could never have played there. Growing up, it was expensive to play there. But then there's all these trees, and then the street we lived on. So I could walk down our street and then cut through these trees to get to the golf course. And I mean, it would look like just like a poor person's entrance into this golf. You know, like how we got to go in, just like through, like I'm going like under a fence and thorns, and then you're like, hey, you're just in a parking lot. And so I worked at Hermitage Golf Course, and we do driving range, pick up the balls, cleaning carts. I loved it. I get the idea. There's a lot of retired guys that work at golf courses, and I get it. Like they're just retired. You know, it's not like they need any giant income coming in. Just they like to golf. They like to be around golf. And I mean, I totally get it. You just get carts. You go. You kind of help people out. You like helping people out, tell them what to do. Like it's fun. And we worked there at the driving range. But I remember our driving range cart at Hermitage, when we would pick it up, the carts, so it's metal fences all around you because people are hitting golf balls, you know, and while you're driving around. But the back of our thing wasn't metal. It was a net, and the net wasn't tied down to anything. So if a ball hit it, it just comes in. It doesn't fall, it stays in the net, but it just hits you. So you would just be getting hit all the time. You would have to make turns quick.
Yeah.
Because you just couldn't. Because you're like, I'm gonna get drilled.
They're trying to hit you
I
too,
mean,
right? Yeah.
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 I mean, I don't try to hit the cart now really anymore. I feel like it's a younger man's. Once you get older, you kind of get over it. But but you got some young kids out there. I mean, that's all they're trying to do. Like you just watch their body turn wherever you go. Like and they're trying to act like they're not. But you're like, I see you moving. I see you going. He's right. Why? I mean, no one is practicing at a range going, I'm going to go to the right side and left side the whole time. They kind of pick a flag and that's what they're hitting at. Yeah. And they're just trying to drill you and you just whoosh. And when it hits, dude, you don't see it. It just and just kind of goes. There's another driving range in Herman. They put a car out there. Yeah. Which that was a pretty good idea.
Yeah, I've been to that one.
Yeah. Just set a real car. Just put it in the middle of the driving range, and people just aim at that car, which is kind of fun. That kind of distract. That's like the red flag with the bull. If you're picking up range balls, you just got something else out there for all these maniacs to hit at. I worked there. We had one cart break, almost went in the water, the lake. That was fun. We were trying to pull it up down this hill.
The brakes went out?
No, it's one of the stupider. I do stupid things, but just dumb 16-year-old. The brake, it ran out of juice, and so it was down at the bottom of this hill. So we're trying to pull it up, and there's a lake, and so we tied just like a hose from one cart to the other hose. Yeah, and then both got in the first car and drove, which is like, why do you not one of us stay in the other car to just press the brake? But, you're just 16. And so we both just get in the other car. And then, of course, it breaks because it's a hose. Yeah. And it's running down the hill. And I have to run next to it. And I get the wheel turned just enough to hit a tree. Yeah. Otherwise, it was just in the lake. Right in the water. Oh, man. I mean, just in the water. Yeah. Yeah. I loved it.
It's really a fun job to have at that age, man.
Yeah. It's a perfect, it's a job. Yeah. It's a job that I wish I would have stayed at it longer than I did. I was like 16. They used to have the LPGA out there in Hermitage, and I would carry the scorecard for that and stuff.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Sara Lee Classic.
Yeah. So I always walked there. It was like it was great, and so we would do that. And then I worked at Opryland. I've never had real jobs. Like I worked in one office building. And we were on a sales team, and we would make sales calls, and they moved me down to the mailroom, and all my buddies stayed up in the top. So usually you move up from the mailroom.
Start from the mailroom.
You start from the mailroom and go to the top, and I was at the top and then went to the bottom. I remember riding in the elevator, and then they open and they go, "You all just work down here." And I went in, the mail guy's like, "How you doing?" And then I just went and worked for him.
And where was this?
At Lifeway.
Yeah.
I used to it was like out of high school, and you're supposed to do just sales calls. Yeah. And I just wasn't good at it, so they go, all right, and they moved me down to the mailroom, and I remember riding. It was a long elevator down. I mean, you're going the mailroom. Mailroom's not on floor 19. Right. You're going below
below B. Yeah.
You're going, what's down here? That's where the mail comes in, and you're going to be delivering it. And all my friends are at the top.
Oh man, were you reading scripts for the sales calls?
I think so. I don't even really remember, but I think so. It was like reading scripts or whatever it was. But I just
I'd love to see you do that.
Yeah. Hello, please welcome or please call something. I don't know. I don't even know.
You asked them over the phone how to pronounce the word.
Yeah. How you doing? Bargatze. I'm gonna come at you. How do you feel about this word?
How would you say this?
I'm trying to think. What's like a nice big word like to
Neanderthal?
Neanderthal, like just to go. These aren't the N-E. I just start spelling it. They're like, "What's that?" You go, "What's that word?" They go, "Neanderthal." I go, "These aren't those times anymore."
Yeah, I was terrible.
That could be a good selling call, just to start spelling a word. If you just throw them off, and they're like, "What's that?"
Yeah.
Do sales calls still work? People call. They call your phone all the time. Does that work?
That was my last job before I quit and went full time stand up. Was doing that. I made zero sales in all the time that I worked at this company, but I made hundreds and hundreds of phone calls, cold calls to people.
Yeah.
And I never could get good at it because I'm sitting there thinking, if I were this guy, I'd be like so annoyed that this dude's calling me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just, I started to try to be like, they go, hello. And I go, hey, this is Aaron with this company. I'd love to just talk about like what you got going on over there. The guy's like, why?
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe see, I could sell you anything. He's like, no, we're not interested. I just couldn't figure out how to frame it. It's just, I'm not, some people are good at that.
Yeah.
To just cold call people.
Yeah.
I could never separate myself. The company I worked at, they were even like, just say a different name if you want. And just like get in character. And I was like, I can't do that.
Separating yourself is a good way to put it. That is, I can't do that either. Like you can't, there's a lot of people that can like, oh, I do like a different accent. And they like, it's fun to them to be this character. And I can't, that separate yourself is there's the good analogy.
Yeah.
That sounds like something out of the back of a restaurant. And that's a really good analogy. You can't separate yourself because that's all I ever felt with all this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm me.
Right.
So whatever it's not a made up person asking you, it's me. And I feel like you're going to be like you feel like the person's like going to be like, come on, Aaron, you know, I don't want to do this. And you go, I know, dude, they're making me, I'm sorry. I should never, I feel bad. Like that's what you feel.
I always wanted to say that on a phone call. Like, listen, dude, like I have to make this call. I don't want to, I don't care. I don't want to, you can't do that.
I would be the worst at sales. I've never done it because I know I'd be bad at it. I don't want to bother.
Did you have any jobs? What was your weird? You worked at Channel 5, but I mean, you haven't bounced around a lot.
I mean, in my first job in high school, I've had jobs that aren't odd in them stuff. They're odd to think I did them.
Yeah.
I worked at a trucking company.
Yeah.
I worked for tobacco farmers.
Yeah.
Did you really? What'd you do at the tobacco farm?
Just every level of tobacco, from planting it to cutting it to harvesting it.
Really?
Yeah.
These were different times back then.
Well, they were.
Yeah.
I just can't see you working on a farm.
Well,
I mean, no offense.
Yeah.
I grew up in the country, and my summer, like in the summer of college, is I would just help these farmers out doing tobacco.
I feel like someone just went to your dad, or someone just sees you like this silhouette of you out there, and be like, "That's nice." He got his daughter out there helping him, and your dad's like, "That's my boy."
I couldn't keep up. You're right about that.
Yeah.
The setting part's fun. First, you set the tobacco plants, and that's kind of fun. You sit on the back of a tractor, and they have this, and you just sit back there, and you and a buddy, and this wheel goes around. You take turns planting put it in this wheel, and the wheel puts it in the ground.
Yeah,
it's kind of fun. You just get back there and hang out and talk and do it.
Did you work with friends?
Yeah,
buddies. Oh yeah.
Yeah. These are guys I knew growing up.
Yeah.
I got fired from my first job.
Really?
Trucking company. Yeah.
What happened?
Well, I wasn't fit for blue collar.
The blue collar world.
Trucking company. I mean, my job was to wash.
You were doing a lot of gasping at all the stuff you were hearing.
They had me move one of the trucks, one of the 18-wheelers, and that's not easy when you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I backed it in, and I hit like a bus. And I mean, I wasn't a good employee anyway, probably, and I think this was just a way for them to fire me.
How old were you at this point?
I was in high school.
Oh man, high school kid to move a truck like that?
Yeah, and I think it was probably between my junior and senior.
Did other kids do it though?
A buddy of mine, my best friend, got me on there, working there, and I was making like $3.75 an hour, or something like that.
I think I remember making $3.75 or $4.25. Maybe was my first minimum wage job.
Yeah.
But but then they didn't fire me that day. But the next day I came in, and the guy called me in his office, and I had to go in early, like at 6 a.m. And he called me in his office, and he fired me. And I just had to drive home, and my parents, like, they ain't left for work yet.
Yeah.
And I got home, and they're like, "What are you doing home?" And I had to tell them I got fired. It crushed me. It was like the worst thing ever to have to tell my parents I got fired from my first job. So
yeah, not a good start.
No.
That's hilarious.
I did all like trucking kind of. I mean, I've driven like box trucks. My buddy, we worked at Hunter's Delivery, and we would deliver all these. I'd have to drive trucks there, and which we scraped the top. So the top of a truck, like a box truck, is aluminum, and so like you would drive in some of these driveways down the middle of nowhere, and like if a tree, you got to avoid trees. And I'm kind of like, you'd hear them sometimes they would just kind of go over it, and you just hear like a little bit of a noise. And so I'm hearing that as we're backing up, and I'm like, where you just go, I don't know. Hopefully nothing. And then so we drive to downtown, actually, a block over First Avenue from where that bomb went off. And we're delivering a thing up there. And we get this guy. I go to open the door and deliver this mattress, and right when I open it, it opens up about a foot, and it won't move. And I see sunlight inside the truck, and I'm like, oh no. And I look, and I mean, it is just the whole top's ripped open, just trees inside of it. I mean, I just wrecked the entire truck. And then so we have to like get the thing kind of barely open to then get the mattress to deliver it. To then we get up there, and the guy, I remember he goes, oh, we're like, man, this apartment's nice. He goes, oh, you got to come check the view out. And we go out to look at the view and just look down, and I just see the top of that truck. And I was like, oh, it was just gone. The top of it was just ripped open.
So you drove underneath a tree and it just took it off?
Yeah. Yeah. It scraped on top of it.
Yeah.
And so like something caught in, but it's like an aluminum.
Yeah.
So it's not like this real thick.
Yeah.
And it just
peeled
it back like nothing. That was like odd jobs. Like that was a very fun job that I had where I remember I always say I would go if when comedy falls apart, but like if I didn't do comedy and I had another job, like starting a delivery company, my buddy Jimmy Hunter did it, and I always liked that. Like he always worked for himself. We did a bunch of different stuff. We delivered for Sears for a little bit. We did Lowe's. But you did a lot of odd things, and it put you in a lot of funny situations, which I just loved, and I loved doing them. And I've been to a pagan wedding. Have I talked about all this stuff?
No.
I've been to a pagan wedding before because of the Hunter's delivery. Me and Jimmy he was going to do some delivering. He would have all these trucks, and he had a contract with Lowe's, and so they were doing it in Lexington, Kentucky. So we would drive to Lexington, and we went up there, and we were training the guys that were going to start driving the trucks, and then we would have came back. And so we're training these guys, and we meet this one kid. He's 18. He's marrying we meet his wife. He said he was engaged, about to get married, and she's 44 years old, and he's 18. And so it's just not good. And when you meet her and the relationship involved, you can just tell it's not good. Yeah. You're like, yo, man, you're 18.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Don't get married to, she's 44. Her, it's like, you got so many, you're so young. Yeah. Just don't do this. And but he's, he doesn't care. Like, so he wants to do it. So, I mean, we don't even know this guy. We've kind of been working with him for a week. He invites us to his wedding, and we're like, all right, I guess we got to go. We're like, we don't even know his last name. We don't know him.
Yeah.
And so we go, all right, we're going to go. And so I remember, me and Jimmy are driving to the pagan wedding, and we get stuck behind a train. And so he calls him and says, hey, we're like, just go ahead and do the wedding. Like, we're not going to, a train just stopped and not doing, they go, we're going to wait for you. And, you want to just be like, man, we don't know you.
Yeah.
Just start the wedding. But it's a guy that's like, I'm sure people know these kind of guys. I don't think they really have any family or, it's like, if you come in their life at all, you're in their life.
Right.
And then, it's a big deal to be at someone's wedding, to be like, I don't know this person.
Yeah.
And so we get there, and the wedding's it's pagan. She's pagan. I don't really know what pagan is.
I was gonna say, what does that mean?
I think it's like nature. Like
what was different about the wedding?
Is a lot of. The fact that 44 and 18. I don't know. There's they're just saying not typical Christian things.
Pagan was the least weird thing about this. Yeah. I think it sounds like. Yeah.
Isn't pagan like
non-religious
wildlife, like not
polytheistic?
Yeah, whatever. I still don't know what it is. I knew I wasn't comfortable with it. I knew, at this point, I'm like, I've never heard of this.
Yeah.
They might as well. They could have said anything. And so we go out to this park and we walk over. Their friends like doing it, and we all stand. At one point, they asked me to film it, so I'm filming it, the wedding, which is insane. So I get like their camera, and now I've got to film the wedding.
Was there a lot of people there?
No.
Yeah.
And 15.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I'm filming the wedding, And so I'm going around filming it. If I could ever, it'd be great. So we're filming it, and then he puts us all in a circle, and then he starts making some kind of chanting and going around the circle, and so then now we're getting pretty uncomfortable. Like, and now I'm like, well, I don't know what this is.
Man.
And I'm kind of like, I'm trying to get back. I'm trying to back out of the circle. Like, I don't want some, circle curse made on me, and I was inside of it.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to like break it, and just be like, I gotta film, so I need to back off a little bit. And so I remember I'm filming him go around the circle, and then I go and I film my buddy Jimmy. And I mean, I had to move off of him because Jimmy's looking at me. He goes, "What is going on?" Like, and so their whole wedding video is just Jimmy being like, "What is this?" And so I just kind of moved off him because I thought, well, I don't want to make fun of their wedding day, but we are not thrilled with what's going on.
Yeah.
And so then they got married, and we went to, I think, Applebee's or Chili's. Bought them, took them all to eat. Jimmy bought all their meals and stuff. Jimmy was a great guy. Like, he was like, that's where, he is a great guy. But he was a very friendly guy, and a very, I think I learned stuff from him. Like, he was a very guy. He took him out to eat afterwards. I'm paying for all this at your wedding. Like, that kind of no, don't you pay? Like, I got it. Like, that kind of attitude. Like, always taking people with him. I met him at Applebee's. He came to Applebee's when me and Laura were working there, and he would always sit there. Like, they would always come there and drink beers after they got done. And so they all sit at this one round table. And I ended up working with him for a long time. I still talk to him. Like, he comes to shows, but I mean, I worked with him. Like, I met him at that table. Like, he's a guy like that. That's like, this guy, you know what? You should come and work for me. Like, that kind of niceness. And just it just was, I don't know, it was great. And it was like, I always loved that he just always finding his own thing to do, and had these trucks and would have to do it. I mean, we would deliver to my one ghost story. I've talked about this sometimes on stage, but my one ghost story is we go to this old house in Belmont, around the Belmont area, kind of Nashville area, and we're delivering this old house. It's a twin mattress. Me and my buddy Jamie Mueller. And I'm standing in the back of the truck. We go up, knock on the door, and the guy's not coming to the door. But I can see, since I'm standing on the truck that's up higher, I can see inside the guy's house, and I'm seeing like a silhouette walking back and forth. And I'm like, the dude's right there. And I mean, dude, it's a silhouette. I'm watching a human being walk back and forth. And I'm like, I was like, I don't know how this guy's not hearing us. Ring the doorbell, knock on the door. It's insane. And he's just walking back and forth. And so we go to leave. You put a note, and we're like, whatever. And so we go to leave, and the guy comes to the door, and he's got a towel on, and he's wet. And he said, I was in the shower. And I just was like, I don't believe, I was like, that's such a weird thing to say you were doing. I was watching you walk around. And then Jamie goes in and delivers the mattress, and he goes, Jamie just says, hey, this seems like an old house. He's like, oh yeah. He goes, this house was on Unsolved Mysteries. There's a ghost that lives here. I'm surprised you didn't see him. And so then that made me think, I was like, that's what I was seeing. And like what I say in the joke on stage, it was like, that was either I was seeing a ghost, which it happened, or the only other thing that could have happened was that guy walks around his house in a towel, doesn't answer the door when people are knocking on it, but you can still see him. And then right before you leave, he pours water on his head and lies to you and says, I was in the shower. Which I don't know which one I would want it to be. I like both of those things. That's my joke, because I would love both of those things. That we got shot at, got caught in a drive-by shooting. I think I was about this all might be stuff I'm trying to talk about on stage coming up, just so everybody knows. But we delivered this old mattress in Nashville, and I'm in a refrigerator. We're doing a refrigerator this time. And I remember we delivered this old lady. There was a dead cat behind the refrigerator. So we moved it, and there's just a cat there. And she goes, oh, that's where that cat's been. She was super old. I think was kind of not all there. And there's just a dead cat that she just thought ran away, and it was dead behind the refrigerator. And then we put the new refrigerator in just back over it, because we're not a dead cat remover. And we just were just kind of put it back, and you're like, I don't, what I mean. And then we go and we're driving, and we make a turn, and we're driving back up this other street, and we hear like pop, 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 pop. And I remember seeing a kid in front of us, and he took off running. I thought he set off fireworks because he was like bent down in the street. It looked like he lit firecrackers and then just took off running. And he just took off running. And we're like, what is that? And we like look in the mirror, and the car is pulled up to a house behind us, and just like they're just lighting up this house. And so they're just shooting this house. And then we're in a truck, and we're kind of it's a big truck, and so we're kind of blocking the road, and they shoot at us. And it goes through the back of the truck, a bullet, and comes out to the top of the truck where I'm sitting, right over my head. Maybe I don't know, this big, like what is that? 4 feet, 3 feet, 3 feet above my head. Bullet comes out. So they shot at us. So we pull over, and then we watch them take off, and then just and like run a red light. They had to get out of there.
Where was this?
Nashville, like Broadway. I mean, like not Broadway. If you got off Church Street, like left Church, not downtown Church Street, but if you make a left, like I feel like back in back in that area over there.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the guy again who got married?
No.
So you have no idea if that marriage worked out?
I mean, I would be blown away.
Yeah.
If it did. I hope it did. I mean, she would be in her 60s, and he's got to be a little bit younger than me. I was probably 20.
Yeah.
I mean, I might have been 21 or 22. And he's 18.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, he's 38 and she's 60.
64.
Yeah, 64. Yeah, 67. Like, I mean, and he's 38.
Oh my gosh, man.
And he wasn't marrying her for money. I can tell you, I mean, it wasn't, Yeah. Yeah.
The 15-person pagan wedding.
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
Actually, I've never smoked or dipped in my life, but I did get nicotine poisoning from working in tobacco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were cutting the tobacco one time, and it rained a lot, and the leaves were really, really wet, and we'd worked out in the field all day, and we got done. We went home our separate ways, me and the guys we were doing it with, and we were going to go out that night. And then I just started feeling sick. And I was like, oh my God. I started throwing up. And then I called one of them and said, hey man, I'm not going to make it. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm sick or something. He's like, we're all sick. And it affected all of us. Somehow it got in our pores or something. It seeped into our pores, the wet leaves or something. And they just, I mean, that's our diagnosis, nicotine poisoning. But it was the guy in charge who said that. So I was like, I guess he knows what he's talking about.
Did you feel great for a little bit and then you felt sick?
I just remember feeling sick.
Yeah.
Nicotine.
What are some other odd job stuff that you've looked up?
Online dating ghostwriter, $24 an hour for this. So I'm sure you've never done online dating.
No. I never have.
Never done it. Well, I'm a professional online dater. No more, but I was.
You're a rare success story for online dating, right? I mean,
well, success story. I don't know if it's rare, but you think most of them don't work out?
I think the overwhelming majority of them don't. Well, yeah,
we'll see. We'll see what happens. But anyway,
it was like the Cubs winning the World Series, like when he did it when he got married. He's been playing that. They've just seen Brian. They were just like. They hung him up. That's how people were rooting for him, like the Cubs. You know what? I'd like to just see him win one.
Yeah, right.
I'll tell you that.
Well, I have that joke. I mean, I've been on those dating sites since the beginning. My username on eHarmony is just Brian.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah. Just because I was the first one. Yeah. But
do you remember hearing about dating apps first? And were you like, whoa?
How did you hear about them? Because this is before TV and stuff, right?
Radio ads.
I'm kidding. Yeah, How did you?
Television, I guess.
Yeah, just a TV ad. There's a whole new thing. You can date online now.
Yeah, I think so. I just remember when the .com boom just took off and just. Do you remember that? Just everything's just like,
everything was like a website. I remember making my first comedy website. Yeah, like when you had to you just make it yourself.
Yeah,
and it was like you had a website.
I built websites as a kid.
Yeah,
I had a Creed fan website.
Oh yeah,
and a POD fan website. You know the band POD?
I don't know. What does it stand for? Is it?
Payable on death. They had some big songs.
Yeah.
Here comes the boom. Here comes.
Oh yeah.
When I was like 9 or 10.
And POD, because their actual band name is Payable
on Death.
I mean, let's just.
Listen, I was going through a phase, dude.
Let's use POD. But that's why they did POD. That is
right.
Who's up next? Payable on Death. Oh god, that's a
right.
You're not gonna be successful if you don't do. Well, we'll just go by POD. You're like, okay,
yeah.
Can we change it? What it stands for?
Mm-hmm. They're a good band.
Party of Downs.
Still around?
I think they're still around. Yeah, they're still doing. My musical tastes have changed.
I love Creed.
Yeah, Creed's awesome, man.
I'm a huge Creed fan.
Mm-hmm.
I think he lives here, Scott Stapp.
I met him once.
Yeah.
At Zany's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he came to Bert Kreischer's show.
Yeah.
And he came back in the green room, and I shook his hand. He goes, "Hey, I'm Scott," and I didn't realize at the time that's who it was. Yeah. I just go, "Hey, I'm Aaron. Nice to meet you." And he left, and Bert Kreischer goes, "You know that's Scott Stapp, right?" And I was like, "You got him." I had a website. When I was 9. I had, myownprison.com.
Yeah.
Dude was my fan.
You had a Creed fan club?
I had a Creed fan
was it
website.
like a mock one?
No, I was 9, dude. It was like
it's from the heart.
It was like the coolest band I was allowed to listen to as a kid. I still think they're kind of awesome.
Yeah.
We're getting to this. You gasping is making more and more sense every day. Like it's just the stuff that all leads up to it of being a child that gasps. I mean, it all makes the pieces are just lining up. Like, yeah, you did. Yeah. I loved Creed.
Yeah,
so I'm a big fan.
They're good.
I love Nickelback too. Everybody always actually don't like them. They're doing real good.
They're selling out arenas.
Yeah, they're doing great, and every song is it's a great song. I'm not a good music guy. Anyway, that's what I was. I love Nickelback, but I know all of these musicians now. They get mad, I don't know why. I guess because it's vanilla music. Mm-hmm. Is that the idea? That's why people don't like it.
Well, it's like there are comedians where if somebody were like, "This is my favorite comedian," you'd be like, "All right, dude." It's the same thing. I'm
same
sure.
kind of thing. Yeah, but I would be like, I get why they're success. I say that if I don't, I get why they're as big as they are.
But what he said, what is the reason people don't like them?
I think people started to think that their music was super repetitive and just sort of formulaic and kind of cheesy white angst became like the narrative around. I think they're one of those unfairly kind of got a lot of that pressure.
Like it was fun to just
and it just became a joke.
It's like Dane Cook.
It's exactly like Dane Cook, where you're like, why are you really making all these jokes? I mean, he was good. You can't deny how good they are, how successable they are. It just became a joke.
Yeah. If enough people like it, and then Dane Cook got that. I never liked that. I do distinctly remembering because I was doing comedy when it was like Family Guy made a joke about Dane Cook, and everybody kind of switched, and then it all turned into like, oh, that's all just trash Dane Cook, and it was kind of gross to me because it was like you guys liked him, now you don't like him because you're being bullies.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody became a bully like that. All of you turned. He was the great. He's selling out all these arenas. He can do no wrong, and then it became cool to hate on the guy. That doesn't make sense to me. That's like kind of gross.
Yeah, it's like a kid building something with blocks. That they build it up just so they can knock it down.
Yeah, just so they can go. Yeah, the same magazines were like a year ago, like he's great to now he's terrible, and you're like, well, nothing's changed,
right? Except
you're trying to be cool or stay relative.
Yeah.
All right.
But online dating.
Oh, well, we can go back to that. But basically, if you ever online date, all the profiles look very similar. They all kind of say the same thing. You're trying to say things that you think the person wants to hear.
Yeah.
And then, but there's writers that you can hire to spice up your online, to be funny. I kind of did that. I took the George Costanza, the opposite approach.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't working, so I'm just going to go have fun with it, and did it. And then
the opposite of everything.
Yeah. Just started trying to be funny on it and saying different stuff to try to stand out.
Yeah.
So.
And you feel like that's when it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I mean, not everybody doesn't enjoy going rock climbing.
Right. Long walks on the beach, all that kind of stuff.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. Who are we kidding? We're not going long walks on the
No.
Yeah.
Because you have
I'm allergic to sand. That's the nightmare, just that kind of Oh no! I was getting in my eye. My eyes felt dry. Like, oh god. Did you delete all of your? Do y'all delete them together? Like when Dave Ramsey cuts credit cards up?
Once we got married?
Yeah.
Yeah. We didn't delete them together, but we both deleted them, of course. I kept my password just in case something didn't work out.
Do you miss it? You probably, you kind of like looking into people's lives, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, do you miss that aspect of it?
I mean, I still go back occasionally and log in, just check, see what's going on there.
Just see what's happening. You don't know. You could be like, I'm hot right now, baby. They're coming after me. Get off the market.
I remember like it because you had.
Do they put like when you get married? Do they put an X with like when someone's dead
over their eyes?
When a wanted, when the America's Most Wanted when he dies, and they put like they put that for online dating, like you're gone.
Maybe
they should.
You don't know.
They should just have people. Your picture should stay up there just to float around to be like,
it's working. That should be the goal, right?
Yeah, it's working, and then
yeah.
What if it doesn't? Then you're.
That's true.
I remember like they said, list 3 things you're looking for in your mate, and I put someone who accepts me from me, someone who is that's not superficial or something like that, and someone with big boobs.
Oh yeah,
just stuff like that.
Yeah,
just for fun.
Yeah,
that's great.
Computer hacker. Computer hackers make $100,000 a year. The companies hire computer hackers to legally break into their network to find weaknesses to help prevent real hackers from getting in.
Yeah.
My uncle does this for a living.
Really?
In Huntsville for the Army. Yeah, he leads a team where they launch campaigns against the military to hack them.
Yeah.
And he said, you want to know what's scary? They have a 100% success rate of hacking the government.
So what could they do?
So they'll just decide as a team. My understanding is they'll just get together and they'll go, let's try
Are you supposed to be saying all this stuff, by the way?
I'm not going to. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
don't know. Give his name out.
They'll go, well, this is a potential weakness. Let's try to hack in and exploit this.
And
they'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost, they don't know but they're not working with the Army to know. So they just come in separately. It's like almost like when offense and defense are playing against each other.
Yeah.
We don't know what plays they're going to run.
Right.
But yeah.
Right. Where my uncle's team would be the offense and the government, the defense, and they would score a touchdown every time.
Yeah.
So it's a little scary.
Yeah. And how fun is that? That's got to be a fun
He loves
job.
it. It's like the perfect job for that kind of guy, Yeah.
If
you just grow up loving computers. I mean, your job is to be a hacker, man.
Yeah, it's a very fun job. I mean, it's very cool, and you're gonna be a hacker, and then you're gonna do the government, and you're gonna do it under. You're not gonna go to jail.
Yeah,
like you're.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's like if you were hired to be a bank. The bank robbers. Do banks hire people to try to break into their bank?
I'm sure they do. Yeah, I'm sure they do to let them know about their weaknesses, where the holes are.
Yeah,
Is everyone in your family good at computers?
No, not everybody. I have a lot of them though. My older brother was very good growing up. He taught me how to do the websites and stuff. Yeah. So,
hand model.
George Costanza. I don't know if I always think I've bad now after I had very good hands. Laura always talked about my hands.
Yours used to be too orange.
Well, they used to be orange. They should not. Hopefully not now. But that was the middle of golf season. But now my hands are pretty beat up from golf. So now they're back to just real beat up.
A hand model can make up to $75,000 a year.
Is that what George Costanza was, a hand model?
Yeah.
Was that would have been his check?
No.
He always thought he got a big check.
This woman, professional hand model, says she once made $13,000 for 2 hours of work.
Yeah.
That's what I imagine George probably
Yeah.
But at what cost, having to protect your hands like that all the time?
Yeah.
Having to wear gloves.
I mean, it depends if...
is this that crazy lady that you found? Who are you talking about, this woman?
I don't know if she's crazy, but she does wear gloves, and she says she got on the subway once, and a lady with a ring cut her hand, and she couldn't work for a couple weeks. She used to wear gloves all the time.
I mean, that's, a lady... what's crazy is that story, someone cutting your hand with a ring on a subway. You're like, well, that only happens to a hand model. That's never never been near a situation where I thought that could happen.
Yeah.
And it's funny to be like, it happened to the only person that like that. That's a story that I go, well, I don't know if I believe it.
Yeah, she made it up.
I don't know if I believe it right now.
Yeah.
A lady cut your hand. You know, I would want to know more.
Yeah, she's a competitor in the hand modeling business.
Yeah,
gotta be. It's just, dude, you can't shake people's hands. I mean, I guess you can't do that now. I bet they're living well now.
Yeah,
during COVID, but
they're looking for long, straight fingers with no lumpy knuckles, lines, or scars, and an even skin tone.
You do have pretty good.
I have good hands.
You got nice looking hands.
How do
yours look, Brian?
Not that good.
Yeah.
They're fine.
I mean, yeah. Hey, I have good hands.
Yeah.
I could be a hand. I could do it. I got if I just quit golfing, it would all the blisters and that kind of stuff would go down.
Yeah, callous fingers.
Be a hand model, then get out of this game.
Focus group participants, they make between $50 and $400 to be a focus group.
So if you do it that's what they so if you're for food and they did it for our TV show.
Yeah.
They show the TV show and they have I didn't see it, they have a knob, and so they turn down like I guess like less likely 1 to 10, like when are you interested in the show?
Yeah.
Not as much now. I'm feeling like it's crazy. They say
did you watch those results?
No, I could have, and they go, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's not worth going. It's like just hear what the result, because it's if you want to just run through the glass, you're like, what are you not getting?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I honestly think that kind of idea of testing is like, there's no way that works. You're asking the same people. And so someone that knows how to do those focus groups, that's how they're making money. Like, so they're just going to do every one. And it's like they become, it's not, I don't feel like it's honest. It's kind of like, what do you do here? And they're like, oh, I know what to do. Just say when you like it, when you don't like it. Yeah. Like they kind of become a critic, like in a weird way. And it's, I can't, I mean, look, I'm saying this because our show didn't go, but I don't think it didn't go because of that.
Yeah.
I think we did okay. And the networks are kind of aware of it. They know that it's like, kind of take it with a grain of salt. I mean, I remember I was in Salt Lake City when I got a call, and they were telling me someone about the focus group. Yeah. And I forget what our number was. I feel like it could have been bad. Maybe it was worse than because no one was really telling me. Now that I think back on it, I never got really straight answers.
Yeah.
And I bet it was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are they looking? I mean, they're looking.
It's good. We're not bad. It's nothing. It's where everybody else is. That's what they say. We're no different than anybody else.
Yeah.
Seinfeld got Seinfeld got a this.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, oh, okay. And like, so they just tell you that stuff. Yeah.
You've done focus groups, right?
I have. Yeah. Just for money every now and then. I got the service I subscribe to. They send me emails every now and then looking for males 18 to 34 who do this or brush their teeth every day or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So you can go in and do those and get money. I went through some dark times in college. I had no money. I sold plasma.
Yeah.
I pawned a bunch of my stuff at
What
a
happened?
you're a college kid. You have no money. You just blow it all every weekend like an
36. You're drinking 36 beers at night. So that's expensive.
Well, yeah. So I do. You know, you can do focus groups like that and make like $50 for like an hour.
Plasma was a big deal.
Have you sold plasma before?
I haven't, but I knew that was. I remember. I mean, it was in the realm of like something I was going to try.
Yeah.
I mean, I just was like, I don't know if I can do that.
You can make like $75 your first time.
Yeah.
What's the difference between plasma and blood?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
I have no idea.
I have no idea what it is.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, like the same process though.
Oh.
They
just go draw blood from you.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But you make like $75 your first time.
I think
and then
it comes out silver.
You can go once every other.
Does it? It comes out silver and it's a little chunkier.
That was just Aaron.
That's what I feel.
That was just me.
That's what pictured in my head when you go get plasma and you're like, what's that? It's like some weird.
Yeah, it's like green. It's gray, glowing. Yeah.
And you're like, oh.
But then you can make $50 every other time you do it. So it's not a bad.
And you can do that. You can do that more than blood, I think.
I think so because it's like every couple weeks maybe you can do it.
Huh.
Yeah.
You did it a few times.
I did in college. Yeah. I was struggling there at the end.
Yeah. So you don't have a ton of plasma right now as we speak. Right? You've given a lot of it up. Do you have to call them and tell them that you have gout now? Do you have to call back?
I would let them know in the screening process now. Do you have any?
No, but you need to go tell them, hey, guys, I know y'all been using my plasma, but I have a pretty big gout problem.
Dude, I hope I didn't have gout when I was 21. if I've secretly had gout for 8 years, that would be embarrassing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're only 28.
I mean, it's embarrassing to have it now.
Yeah.
But imagine if I've had it for a decade.
Yeah. Like if I said, I hope I didn't have it at 21, you're still in your 20s. I mean, you're like, God, can you imagine if I had it just a couple years ago? I mean, that's
fair.
Did we ever get checked out for gout?
Yeah,
you haven't gone?
No. People keep telling me to.
Oh, my mom texted me and said, eat a jar of cherries.
Are you serious?
Yeah, did you hear that? Have you ever heard that?
No.
Look up cherries, like in gout. There's got to be, yeah, she said you eat and I could be saying it right. At least 10 cherries per day reduce the risk of gout attacks by 35%. A combination of cherries and, I don't know, Purinol, medication often taken to reduce uric acid, reduce the risk of gout attacks by 75%.
Wow.
Now, it makes sense his mom would maybe know that. She's probably never had to tell someone who's 29.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have gout, dude. I looked it up. I don't think that's what it is. But I should probably look at it.
No, I think you're handling it the right way. Look it up on your own. Ask people that listen at home, and then do nothing about it. You're trying to do nothing about it is what you're trying to do. You don't want to do anything, so you keep going, I think it's fine, and you just want it to go away.
You're right.
Is it gone away?
Yeah, I haven't had it since
I thought someone scheduled you a doctor's appointment.
Somebody did, but now it's on me to call and get that scheduled.
When's the last physical you had?
I mean, high school.
Come on, just call them and go do it. Which wasn't too long ago. I'm not saying you need a physical.
I could use one just to see what's going on.
Just see, I didn't do physical. I mean, I do them now, but I haven't done them in forever. Most you can, you kind of go through. You don't really need them in your 20s and 30s. Yeah. Now, if I got gout at 28, maybe I'd jump in and try to go do one. But I wasn't a big doctor guy, man. I never went to doctors. Yeah. I never went to doctor. I haven't gone. I go to like. I'm not even seeing a doctor right now. I'm seeing like what's the
nurse practitioner?
Yeah. Like because the wherever I was going, doctors are just you can't get a time. Mm-hmm. And so, like, I'm not even to a real doctor. I mean, she knows everything.
Yeah.
But I'm probably going to have to I got to go move on because now I'm 41. So I'm about to have to get in some real deal.
Yeah.
Now you're getting the real deal testing.
Yeah. You do.
Everything he goes through. Right. I mean, he goes to the doctor. It's what the doctors get paid for. When you're 28, I mean, you're like, that's a breath. That's a relief when you walk in there.
Yeah.
And then they bat you around with a couple, is your elbow moving? And you're like, and he's like, yeah, get out of here. And then when this walks in, they're like, how old are you? About to be 50. You're like, he's like, all right. No. I'll eat lunch after. And he just has to, he has to buckle down. And but I'm at that age. I'm 41. Yeah. I'm going to have to probably do colonoscopy, right? You got to do, I think it's supposed to be 50, I thought.
I thought it was 40 you're supposed to get.
It was 40, but I think it moved up.
It was 40, moved up to 50, and now recently it's back down to 45.
Yeah. So I'm about to go. Yeah. I mean, I'll be 42 in a month or March, 2 months. So yeah, I'm right. I gotta go get a real deal, man. Get the real deal.
Yep. I just had my first colonoscopy. It was fun. Snake milker.
That sounds like. Is that what he called it? Colonoscopy. That's what colonoscopies. That's a fun doctor term. Like if you go to a doctor that's fun, he goes, "What do you do?" He goes, "I'm a snake milker." And you go, "Oh, that's cool. What's that?" He goes, "I don't know if you want to know." And it's not what you. He goes, "Are you saying it's not what I think?" He goes, "It's definitely not what you think." Like a fun, proctologist. You ever sit around a proctologist? Sit around. Hear his stories. 1,000,000 to 1, doc.
Snake milker.
You know what a snake milker is?
I mean, I assume
Yeah,
it's
the venom. Is it the venom? They get the venom out.
they just
the
wring it
snakes.
out like a wet pair of socks.
No.
No.
No, that's your logic. That's what you didn't think that, did you?
I mean, I'm
joking.
graduating. Okay.
You don't think these-
So you think
Yes.
you think where do you think this milk comes out of?
What are they milking out
What
of
part of the snake are you scared of? If you think that's how they're getting this stuff out, like if you see a snake or you go, do you immediately go, get away from the tail, get away from the tail? Is that your first thought?
No, they wring it out through with the head on the bottom.
No. And then no, they put their fangs over a glass and they have them, and then they do that. So their head is over the
That's
glass
not
with their
what it
fangs
is.
in. Yeah, and then the venom shoots in a cup.
Oh, they're collecting venom.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not milk.
I know it's not milk, but I figured it was
Do you know it's not
innards,
milk? I don't know if
innards
you
or
don't.
something.
Huh?
Snake innards for
What?
Yeah.
leather.
Everybody.
And stuff.
Yeah, people always say about you, am I dumb? Could I be dumbing you down? But I think this is, growing up with computers kid talk that never seen reality.
Listen, dude, I've never milked a snake before. I'm sorry, I haven't lived
I haven't either.
worldly experience like
But
you.
I've lived a life, and you ever turn the TV on accidentally and seen them there. I mean, you can see it everywhere. It's not some,
I feel like I've lived a life. I've accidentally turned on the TV and saw it.
and you're seeing it.
Oh man, you're out there, dude.
I'm out there.
I've never heard of this. So they collect what do they use the venom for?
Well, we don't need to dive into it. But
Well, now you're making me feel like an idiot for not knowing what it is.
yeah, but I don't think it's interesting enough to drag this out. Now, don't overplay it now because you don't know it. You're like, okay, sorry, man. Go ahead. Tell us all about it. It's not like they put the venom in. It's like for people to do venom. I think it's for cancer. Like it's like
to make
all kinds of
anti-venom.
stuff.
And anti-venom.
Antivenom.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Kentucky Reptile Zoo sells the stuff to people.
Oh, they sell it?
Yeah.
And you just drink the venom. Ain't that crazy? No. I thought you've never seen. I just can't believe you've never seen.
I've never seen that. No.
Where they bite into.
Never seen it. I'll have to look that up.
But you're a snake guy, so
I
Yeah,
like
that's true.
snakes.
That's true. You're a
That's
snake
true.
guy.
So maybe I was around it more.
Right.
When did you see it? You've seen it, right?
Yeah.
Just like
just living life, man.
just living life.
By the time you hit your 40s, you'll see it.
Don't you think you just see it? You
Yeah.
see it on TV. You don't watch animal shows?
I do
Anything-
watch animal
yeah.
shows. Yeah, I just must have missed the snake milking episode. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. They literally hold it over
Yeah.
like a cocktail
Yeah.
glass.
And so this image you've never seen.
I've never seen that. No,
Okay.
I don't really like the way the inside of the snake's mouth looks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Maybe no one's seen it. Maybe I'm crazy.
I don't think you're crazy. I think, I mean, I probably should have been able to tell right away what that meant, milking a snake. But
Here's a job I
Alright.
bet you know.
yeah.
Odor judge. Someone who does odor tests to test the effectiveness of hygiene products like soap and body wash, deodorant, and mouthwashes. So they literally smell people's armpits, their feet, and their breath just to rate the odor on a scale of 1 to 10.
Wow.
Breath would be tough.
Yeah.
Breath would be my probably hardest, but
More than armpits?
I think so.
Mhm.
Armpits, body odor. It's like you kind of get it. Breath. I don't know. Your face has got to go to inside
I think you do it like you're taught, like you're taught how to safety rules in like a lab when you're supposed to smell something. You're supposed to just like put your hand over where the scent's
Yeah.
come and just kind of waft it towards you.
Yeah.
That's what you do. You don't
Oh.
put your face in somebody's armpit, probably. Maybe you do. I don't know what I'm talking about.
We live different lives, man. We're around a lot of different things. The fact that you know how someone would do this, that's crazy to me. But I think it's crazy that you've never seen a snake had its venom taken out. And I don't think we would have crossed paths. I honestly don't. I think we were not on the same
You got to take a
streets.
lab class in high school or anything like that, like in a science lab?
No, I mean, I almost failed science. I talking about special.
Yeah.
I had an F in science, and my dad talked to the teacher and said, "Give him a D," and she gave me a D. My dad. The only reason I graduated high school is because my dad went and talked to the teacher and said, "Come on, man, he's not gonna do science stuff." And then they all agreed that I wouldn't. Getting me out of school wasn't gonna.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna go dive into the science.
And they were right.
They were
Yeah,
right.
They were right on.
I mean, not even worry that this would ever come back to them.
Uh-huh.
Well, this woman smelled 5,600 feet in her 15-year career as an odor tester.
Do you call that a career? Like, you think you use that word?
I think vocation more like.
Yeah. I mean, I would say, yeah. Is it like career sounds like stats?
Yeah.
You know, LeBron James, her.
Yeah.
Like, careers are kind of weird.
She put up some great numbers. Yeah.
She has put up some great numbers.
5,600.
I wonder if there's any that she goes, I remember one out of 5,600. You know, is it all just kind of, that's The Office when he pees? They're all having to pee in that cup. And she goes, hi, and Dwight goes, you remember me? And she goes, we see a lot of people. My pee was green. She goes, oh, how you doing? Yeah, she just remembers. Like, that's got to be, with her, does she go, I remember, I mean, I do remember one.
There's got to be one foot that's just so gnarly. She's
that
like,
just stuck out.
It was like the first time she's like, I really am starting to question my career path.
Yeah.
I have to smell this foot.
Yeah.
Who do you smell feet for? Like shoe companies? I mean, who?
Oh no.
Like who contracts this person out?
Hygiene products. So,
okay. Feet scrubs, that kind of.
Well, I don't know about feet. Yeah,
I don't know.
But soap, body wash, deodorant, mouthwash.
Okay.
I think you get into this job, you got to get into it through other people. Like, you're not finding this.
You got to have a buddy.
You don't find it on Craigslist, you think?
Yeah, you got to have someone that knows someone that's like, yeah, this is not you don't stumble upon this job. Or maybe you do stumble. You know, I don't know. It's either like you know someone or you go, I never even knew this was a thing, and now this is my job. It's not in the...
Well, they make $40,000 a year. But there's also armpit testers. They got to find people who were willing to raise their armpit and let you smell them.
How much they make?
$65 a week.
Yeah, it's about right. I mean, that's the only one that sounds like that sounds like, yeah, okay. That sounds fair. I think everybody that agrees with that goes, yeah, I think that's fair. Just to let someone smell your armpit and they go give you $65 a week, I'd go, yeah, you know what, that feels right. And that's the only one that most time you're like, what do you even pay someone? You're like, I don't know what to pay you, but that one for some reason, $65 a week to lift your arm up.
Yeah, sounds right.
Sounds right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
$65 a week. Perfect. You know?
Chicken sexer. Anybody want to guess what this is?
No, I mean,
I'm
out on guessing.
Made in the chickens.
Well, it's these mass poultry production places where they just pump out thousands of chickens. They need someone that can determine whether it's a male or female. So they
just walk around just going male, female, male.
Kind of. I mean, they have to observe them. It's not easy.
Might
when
be a
they're
little more
born.
involved in that, I think.
Yeah,
they have to.
It's a little bit more.
I feel like you're taking shots at me now because I make fun of you with the.
Have you not seen this?
I have.
I mean, come on, dude.
Have you seen it?
Have you lived a life, man? I'm turning on the TV. I've seen Chicken Sexer.
You seen Chicken Sexer?
No, not at all. Dude. I don't even think this is real.
It's a real thing. It's because female chickens lay eggs, and males they use for meat. So they have to have somebody at these mass poultry production places to immediately determine the female's over here, the male's over here. And when they're first born, it's not easy to determine.
Yeah.
So this is a full-time job, $60,000 a year, just determine if it's a male or female chicken.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, how good are you? He's like 70%.
Yeah. What's a good accuracy rate?
What's a bad day? If that guy just has a bad day and he's like,
he's off.
Male, female, just saying it. Yeah. If it's like if it's a married couple, if it's a woman and she's mad at her husband that day and she's like female, and then she just, I don't know what's a mean word to
for a man?
Yeah. Buffoon. Like she's like
idiot.
And you're like idiot. And you're like, what are you doing? She goes, well, all males are idiots. So woman, goddess, idiot. And you're like, yo, you gotta calm down today. Because I don't think they have a lot to talk about.
No.
So this would, other jobs this is kind of straightforward.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like a lot of work too. You're just sitting there.
It's a lot of work, and it's the same thing.
Are they coming through on an assembly line like I Love Lucy? Like she just can't keep up with
That's what I like. That's what I'm picturing. And she goes female, and I think they just, and then they got to run and grab it. No, male. it got pretty far down away from me, but I knew I was not feeling that one. Yeah. I don't know how you know. Look at him to the bottom. Like, all right. Kramer. We had a lot of time. He looked at that. He goes, "It's a rooster." He just holds it up backwards. And just looks. Yeah. All right. What are we about to be done? Is there more, or is that it?
I mean, there's a lot of crazy jobs.
Yeah.
Professional bridesmaids.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
Is that what I think it is? Somebody doesn't have enough friends?
Actually, it's the opposite. What do you think? I mean, I don't know what else it could be.
It's someone who has too many bridesmaids. This person
that goes and tells them to leave.
Yeah.
It's actually, this is like me. I feel like you're talking to a child that I don't want their feelings hurt. And I go, it's actually someone has too many friends. And so they come in and have to say, not all your friends can come and get some other jobs. And they go, well, that's so great. And you go, it is, isn't it? It is exactly a professional bridesmaid. It is what it is. You don't have enough.
I'm just saying it's sad, man.
You go, what are you, second cousin?
It's.
I'm not saying it's not sad, but it was it's sad. Is that what I think it is? Professional bridesmaid.
She's also a little bit like a personal assistant type.
Yeah.
Thing. So.
Oh, she does that.
Yeah.
You know why she's there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one's. No, she helps me do stuff. You're like, okay, but she's also gonna be a bridesmaid. Yeah, I mean, we've become friends over this time. So, her and her friends come and help, and I thought, yeah, they're great, Yeah. I don't want my husband to realize I married a loser. Let me introduce your friends. I don't think I've met that side of the family.
Yeah.
And then it's all,
Have y'all been like in people's weddings before?
Yeah.
I mean, you've been
groomsmen.
Yeah,
groomsmen. Yeah,
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
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 Is there a weird feeling to reciprocate that on your own wedding? Because I'm just going through it now, planning my own wedding, and I'm just thinking like, there are people not going to be in my wedding that I was in their wedding.
Yeah.
No,
I think you could. No, I mean, I don't think with dudes. I mean, I imagine dudes can be a little more. They don't care, and some guys would rather be like, I'd rather not be in it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So are you having a lot of people?
No, not 7.
Yeah.
Not huge.
Yeah.
7 groomsmen?
That's a lot.
Is that a lot?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a ton.
Yeah. I think
it's not a ton. I don't know about that.
Yeah. I mean, how many would you have?
Yeah, a couple professional groomsmen.
Yeah. From a guy from 0. Yeah, 7's a lot.
It's a lot more than 0, that's for sure. I was in one with 12 once, man.
Yeah.
I was 12 people. Yeah.
I think more than 5.
I was the smallest one too.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Some big dudes.
Yeah. Favorite day.
Yeah.
Is this where the woman thought you were in the commercial?
This might be where you got gout.
Different wedding. It might.
For hanging out with those guys?
Just from hanging out with fat dudes.
Yeah.
Might have, dude. I don't know. We were packed in there pretty tight.
I think you just pick the ones that you're like, look, it's just working out that for your grooms, and you're like, it's just this is what it's working out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not too worried about it. I'm just thinking about it,
Yeah.
So you have 7 groomsmen, but we're not. Neither one of us is one of them.
I mean, I will go ahead and tell you no. I don't know if he might want to do it. Brian's probably wide open, but
Is he on your?
Yeah.
You're both invited. Yeah. It's like me and my podcast co-podcast host
Aaron
over
Land?
here.
Yeah. Aaron Land that airs during Nateland.
You're both invited, but
I will go. I'll go to the wedding.
But I'm not gonna make you do a whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah. You would want to be a groomsman. Yeah. Have a ring, boy. Carry your ring down.
Can I do that?
Yeah.
You can. You and my nephew can walk down together,
his
man.
mic belt on this show. I mean, it's got he's done. His mic was like, all right, dude, this is breakfast is, if someone's at home, breakfast is microphone. Couldn't handle what was being brought to the table. All right. Thank you, everybody, as always, for listening. We appreciate it. Always leave your comments, all that kind of stuff. And we'll see you next week. All right.